Is that working? Oh, I was just curious if you could see this, and can you hear me? And can you see Jethro? He wants to say hi. What? I don't know if he can hear you. Yes, he says he can hear you. What do you want to tell Ed? There's a problem with the llama upstairs. Let's go find out what's wrong with the llama. Might be a little bit loud in here. Llama. I gotta name the printers names that I can remember, and so I figured fish names were the only thing that I would be able to remember. So, llama, the Llaminator. It says, what did it say? Unable to feed filament. This might be because it's... Oh, because there's no filament in there. Duh. Yeah, watch how easy it is to load this filament, Ed. Lily was asking about if these printers were easy. Unable to feed filament. Retry. Clear. Yeah. And you also ask why the llama is because it's making a llama yarn bowl. Llama to boot. So it gave me a text message saying that there was a problem with it, and Jethro actually heard my phone go off, and sometimes he barks because it sounds like a doorbell, and he thinks someone was at the door. So he heard my phone go off and he barked, and I'm like, what's wrong? And it was like, oh, there's a problem with the llama. So the famous mockingbird has finished. And look, like when you take these out, they just have these magnetic flexible build plates, and so the prints usually come right off of them. And to get the spare, like this is calibration filament, you usually just scrape that off and you throw that away. And like these printers have this, they have cameras and LiDAR and accelerometers all built into them. So it's using like closed loop controls to monitor everything as it's printing, and to load it back in there, boom, you just kind of make sure it's aligned and it's magnetic, and so it's got a nice positive lock. That's what this one made. And this is now doing like a material change. So what it does is each layer, it will print out one color, and then it... Oh shit, hang on. So I don't know if you can see the multiple... Ah shit, it's giving me the error again. Failed to call. Someone said that these cardboard spools sometimes don't run right, because they have these rollers on them, and the rollers get like cardboard dust, and then that dust builds up and it just slips. It's like spinning the wheels. Retry. What is wrong with you, Mama? And so each time it changes filament, it has to purge, and that's what it's doing there in the back. I don't know if you can see, but it will. It's like sucking out filament into the what's commonly known as the poop chute, and then that's gonna kick it out the back of it. Another retry. I might have to re-spool this one. And that's a project for another time that I don't feel like fucking with, so I'm gonna close this and say this is a failed print. I'll let that cool down. But you can get like multiple build plates, and so you can just... Somewhere around here I've got... Uh-oh! Problem at the Fluffhead factory. Dead Halloween pumpkin. It's definitely dead. These ones are the P1S. Main difference is you don't have the nice fancy touchscreen, but you can upgrade it with an aftermarket touchscreen for much cheaper. Yes, we're gonna quit that. Well, Fluffhead is living up to its name. Yikes. I'm surprised it didn't catch that, because all these other ones will... If it's not printing what it expects to print, it will send you a message and it will pause and it'll say, hey, you might have a spaghetti failure, which this is called a spaghetti failure because you're not making anything useful, you're just making fucking spaghetti. And this is PETG. I should be using gloves with this. This is like glass filled fiber, so it's like fiberglass. Hang on a second. Let's go get some gloves. I did not do this last night, and my hands were like itching all night. So, Fluffhead Factory's making fluff. Fluffy, 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 fluffy head. What do you have to say about that, Jethro? See, knock those fluff balls off your head. Knock those fluff balls off your head. Wow, 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 wow. Jethro's getting into it too. What I was making with those is these things, which are actually very useful. You put a desiccant in them. I can take the gloves off. That's what this is made with too. So this is just like suspended. This is what I got my fingers all cut up with. And the live the filament thing, I just put desiccant in here, and then you can dry it out. And these things basically go then inside of a spool of filament. You can pop them in there, and so it keeps your shit nice and dry. So that's something actual functional. You gotta wait. We're checking up on the factory. So the mound maker is making this is going to be a suspended, like that yellow suspended hand, but it's suspended, well, I guess you can probably guess what that's going to be. Like a spider that's going to be coming out of this big giant spider web. And I think I'm doing this with the glow in the dark PLA. This guy turned out really cool. And all these prints, I did all these from my phone. Like, I didn't even turn on my computer for this. And the Funky Bitch Forge. This one is another Verdone type mother and daughter thing. I made this for Heather if I can ever get her to answer a text or email. I'm actually gonna see if she wants to go to that Air concert on Thursday, but we'll see about that. I'm not too optimistic, but Funky Bitch Forge right now is making one of those skulls, like the big skull. Where's the Let's go. Get that stuff on. Get this on. Okay, so Fluffhead is ready to print. What's Wilson working on? Wilson is working on a container for something. I'm just like, I went out and I got all these different filaments. Like, here, check this out. I went a little bit crazy with the filaments, and so I'm trying to find out what they all, which ones, how they all print and what they look like on small models. And this is like a cool little useful organizer that this is like pre-programmed on all of the, I can get that out of there, all of the things, but this is just made with like a multicolor PLA. This is good for remote controls, pens, pencils, random shit that you got at your desk. Llaminator. Let's see if this is cooled down enough to. Somewhere around here I have a scrape that I printed. So I just don't think it liked that spool. So that was a twinkling gold. Let's do a silk gold instead. But this might also be cardboard spool. Yep, cardboard spool. I'm going to risk this one real quick. Stop. Yes. That's cool. If you want help setting one of these up sometime, let me know. Later, man. Alright, let's get Fluffhead reloaded with something that's not gonna spaghetti on us. Hang on, Jethro. I'm gonna try this brass. Brass composite PLA. So this is high temperature PLA protopasta. Feed that in. Just hand on it to see if it. Oh, I just put my hand on it to see if I can feel it pulling on the filament once it starts extruding. It's not heated up yet. Oh, it's low. Top. Alright, Fluffhead's good to go after a little bit of spaghetti. And maybe we'll go get Jethro some dinner. What do you think? Are you hungry? I will take that as a yes. What is this guy doing? External filament. Why do we need an external filament? So that one's good to go. Alright, so Fluffhead needs a print with something brass, and Mockingbird, and Llama. Fluffhead, Mockingbird, Llama. Fluffing Mockingbird and Llama. Oh, this spider's gonna really be freaking cool. Just seeing the aerial view of it now. Oh, that's gone. Okay, I'm gonna fix this guy, and now we're gonna get Jethro some food, right? Okay, go. Where's your food? Where's it? It's in that thing? That's toilet paper. Can you show me again? I'm not sure I understood. Oh, that. Okay. There we go. Stop that guy so you can eat in peace. And this is a bin full of printer poop.
Ina was here promoting her new memoir, but she talks about having the courage to take chances. What Lauren doesn't know is that moments before this picture was taken, Ina recorded a special message just for her.
Hi, Lauren. I understand you're a fan, which is really sweet. But I understand you took a lot of chances.
What is this shit on TV?
To become a legal analyst on TV, and you never know where it leads to. It's such a wonderful thing. It could be the making of your career.
That sounds like the intro to Maze.
Career. that I'll mention is the way the media has covered this story, because, of course, most legacy media is owned by massive corporations. And so their top concern is the economy. And if this strike went on longer, it would have had an impact on the economy, a negative impact on the economy. And so what they did is, instead of focusing on the needs and concerns of the workers, the port workers who are a huge part of keeping this economy going, they decided to really focus in on their leader, the union president, Harold Daggett. And they kept running stories about the beautiful home he lives in. He allegedly has a yacht. If that's true, it's true. It is what it is.
By the way,
hold on. Let me finish. Let me make my point, okay? Do these same reporters look at our politicians who end up becoming freaking millionaires as they are sitting and walking in the halls of Congress, supposedly representing our best interests, as they're engaging in insider trading, as they're stealing from the American people, as they're getting bribed by corporations? Do they ever look at the multiple homes that our lawmakers are living in and enjoying? Oh, they can't be bothered with that. But when it comes to a union leader, oh, unacceptable. He lives in a luxury home. I don't care what kind of home he lives in. What I care about is whether or not he's actually representing the union members. And from the looks of it, so far, so good.
Yeah. And by the way, you want to hold union leadership accountable? Man, so the American worker is our number one constituent and viewer here at the Young Turks. But oftentimes we take on union leadership because we thought they weren't standing up for their unions enough. And then they get super mad at us, etc. And that's how the powerful always roll. But I almost interrupted Anna there, sorry, because I was going to point out Joe Manchin's yacht. And so Joe Manchin literally lives on a yacht in D.C. It's a gigantic. He drives like a Maserati or something, but when protesters blocked his car one day, and then protesters from West Virginia took like a little boat out to his yacht, they were framed as radical protesters bothering Joe Manchin. And I'm this union guy, I don't know him from Adam. I don't know if he's got like a dinghy or a yacht. I have no idea. But I can see the mainstream media looking at a little boat and going, yeah. And looking at Manchin's giant yacht and goes, poor guy. They're what are the pirates attacking poor Joe Manchin?
Listen, I'm not one of these people who hates on others because they're wealthy or because they're enjoying a luxury lifestyle, as long as they're good people and they're doing the right thing. Okay? I don't think wealth is an indicator of someone being a bad person. Being a bad person, being a crooked, corrupt person that works against the best interests of the very people who elected you to represent them, that makes you a bad person.
By the way, the protesters, all they did with Joe Manchin was ask him questions that the reporters refused to ask him. Like, hey, weren't you taking checks from the same guys that you're voting with and voting against the American people, voting against us in West Virginia? All right, last thing is, guys, yes, because it was the election and it could have affected the economy so much, my guess is the Democrats put a world of pressure on this leadership to put it past the election, right, the resolution. But do not let it go after the election. If Kamala Harris wins, what the Democrats will tell you is everything is solved now. So just, okay, and they're creating problems. The workers are creating inflation. It's the workers' fault. That's what corporate media will tell you 24/7. I've never seen anyone in corporate media go, hey, maybe it's the executives that get paid 1,000 times, 4,000 times what these guys get paid that are causing the problems. Never, because they're corporate media. So don't listen to them when they try to make you go back to sleep and go, it's okay, a Democrat's in charge, so you don't have to worry about it. Don't pay them, it's their fault. Go back to supporting corporations. No, don't do that. Hold Republicans and Democrats accountable.
Welcome to the Damage Report. I'm John Enrola. This is going to be a big one.
What Donald Trump has done as president has cut taxes for the wealthy and made life better for rich people. But he's made life worse for poor people.
We're making America great again by throwing more money at the military to destroy other countries, because that makes us great instead of investing it in ourselves.
Donald Trump and Stephen Miller The choosing is based on wanting to create cruel and inhumane conditions to scare other people away from ever coming to the United States.
The opportunity to make money off of tragedy is the American way.
There's only one place to put garbage people in the trash.
We never had so much access to so much information with so little idea of what the hell is going on.
What does enforcing abortion have to do with traumatizing children? Absolutely nothing.
I think a sane person could say the current situation we have right now is radical. But what we're doing is literally making the world more like hell. That's a warning sign.
Go potty. Hey Google, show me front doorbell.
Living in a state with a total abortion ban, I've seen routine complications become fatal. This is a direct result of Donald Trump. I know Kamala Harris will protect my rights and stop a national abortion ban. She's the only choice for me.
Mike Rogers has a proven track record of service, including Michigan families above party politics, and Congress to taxes, unleash American energy production, and protect manufacturing jobs. Mike Rogers, true service that delivers for Michigan.
I needed an abortion to save my life. Mike Rogers said he supports all restrictions on abortion, even to save a woman's life. I would have died, and that should not be up to Mike Rogers.
Kinder Chocolate. Crafted for kids, loved by all.
We're partnering with eBay Motors to take the Boss Boss Racing China Tech car to the next level.
I'm honored to have their endorsement, and I think that what they both, as leaders and well respected, are making an important statement that it's okay and if not important to put country above party.
In fact, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris is so honored to be endorsed by Liz Cheney and her war criminal father Dick that she campaigned alongside them today in the great state of Wisconsin. Now, the campaign stop took place in Ripon, Wisconsin, which is apparently known as the birthplace of the Republican Party. Ripon is home to a tiny schoolhouse that actually hosted the first meetings that launched the Republican Party back in 1854. Now, Harris is expected to use the joint appearance to address the symbolism of the location, to appeal to independents and Republicans, and praise Cheney for her political courage in essentially standing up to Donald Trump, which ended up getting her ousted as a congresswoman. But it gets worse. The Harris campaign has been quietly courting well-known GOP backers, such as Cheney, looking to attract Republicans disillusioned with former President Donald Trump, especially after his efforts to reverse his 2020 re-election loss. And just as a reminder, there are plenty of Republicans, both neocons and former Trump administration officials, who have endorsed Kamala Harris. That includes Jeff Flake, Adam Kinzinger, former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, former Trump White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson. In fact, she's been making the rounds, doing interviews about it recently. Let's take a quick look at what she had to say.
I didn't believe in every single one of his policies. I knew that he had a temper, but I believe that he was authentic in his care for the American people. The shift between believing that wholeheartedly and seeing how quickly he devolved into madness and complete chaos to assuage his injured pride, how willing he was to throw people under the bus and completely throw away any principles that he had in pursuit of power. That's not what leadership is. So I think looking at all of this, out of all the lessons that this has taught me, it's taught me that we are stronger when we are united, that we are stronger when we're not looking at our nation as an us versus them mindset, as Donald Trump likes to propagate. He does that because he thrives on fear, and he needs the fear and control in order to keep people in his realm and supporting him. But a divided nation cannot stand.
I'm a fan of unity. There are limits to everything, though, and I'm not sure how comfortable I am uniting, Democrats uniting, with the likes of neocons like Liz Cheney and her aptly named father Dick. Look, I'm concerned about the influence this has on the Democratic Party. I became involved and engaged in politics, right before the 2003 preemptive strike on Iraq. And these are the types of people who supported and were cheerleading, which was absolutely devastating and didn't accomplish much, or anything. And so I don't know what to say, Jay, because it's like my worst nightmare. Like the Democratic Party becoming like the Bush era Republican Party, and then you have the Trump Party. So who do we support?
Yeah, look, I'm conflicted in this sense. I'm not conflicted in this election. To me, it's obvious. Trump's a madman, wanted to terminate the Constitution, attacked America. It's not close. Having said that, until January 6th, where he did all of the worst things, he was a terrible president and a terrible human being. But George Bush and Dick Cheney were clearly worse. So now Nicole Walsh is the communications director of George Bush, one of the lead anchors on MSNBC. Now Liz and Dick Cheney are on the Democratic side. Today on CNN, they were yelling at John Bolton and asking, please don't. Thank God he's not endorsing her. I don't want his vote. I don't want anything to do with it. So these neocons are the worst people on earth. Dick Cheney got hundreds of thousands of innocent people killed in Iraq, let alone our troops, let alone all of our money wasted. One of the most unpopular politicians of our lifetimes. So I feel like that Kenzie in that video we showed you, where Kamala Harris was in the shop and they asked at the beginning of this segment, and she's like, I'm proud to have Dick Cheney's endorsement, and then Tori's like, I might be reading too much into her, her body language and her, but it looked like an eye roll, like she seemed uncomfortable. And I'm super uncomfortable having these monsters, not only on the Democratic side, but for our candidates to be so proud of it, and to be campaigning with them.
I think there's a good possibility that if Kamala Harris gets elected, she mentioned multiple times now that she plans on appointing a Republican into her cabinet. I think it's probably going to be Liz Cheney.
No. Look, I'll tell you this much right now. So, first of all, are there Republicans you could put in your cabinet? Yeah, a bunch of Republicans proved to be patriots, like Jeff Duncan in Georgia. And we might disagree with him on those social issues and many other issues, right? And he's one of the guys who spoke at the DNC. But he drew the line on cheating for Trump and overthrowing our democracy. And that's brave, and I appreciate that. You want to make him Secretary of Transportation or something. I gotta live with it, okay? But you make Liz Cheney, for example, Secretary of Defense, and I start the revolution immediately, okay?
What does that mean?
So, all it means is every populist there is on the left and the right, let's unite against the Harris-Cheney administration, okay? So I'm planning that before the election. So if you tell me Liz Cheney is going to start wars for us, you're telling me that you're George Bush, and I got no interest in George Bush. Now, she hasn't done any of that yet, and Trump is worse at this point because he literally tried to end the whole goddamn country, okay? And I love America, and I don't want to end our democracy. I don't want to terminate our Constitution. So it's still an easy choice for me now. But you make Liz Cheney an important part of your administration. You're declaring, I'm a Republican. I'm the worst kind of Republican.
Drop test.
Join the Dragon Squad by becoming a YouTube channel member. Click the join button below or sign up on tyt.com/join to get access to fun emojis, a member-only chat, exclusive shop TYT designs, ad-free watching, and so many other amazing perks. Plus, you get bragging rights for being part of the coolest community on the internet and help us drive real, positive change in the world. The Dragon Squad awaits, so join today.
Oh, Dragon Squad, eh?
Mike Rogers got $1 million from the drug industry. He voted against lowering prescription drug prices and to take away guaranteed Medicare benefits. Mike Rogers sold us out to the drug industry.
This game is not set up so good. I don't know, it was hard.
Priority Health is placing support dogs in schools to help ease anxiety and build confidence. Priority Health. Health coverage that fits your priorities.
For softer laundry, smoother skin, and water you love, call Culligan, the local expert since 1936.
Watch out about the That's still alive. Much stronger than I would have thought. Thankful.
Alright, back on TOT, checking out with you guys. I'll read more comments. Really interesting points I want to share with you guys.
I gotta give Edwin Umania, who's on the ones and twos, some credit for playing some BPM to lighten my mood a little bit. So appreciate that. Let's get to our next story.
So I said to our great First Lady, who can draw a crowd? Did you watch me tonight on television, First Lady? People love our First Lady out there. Go out and get a book. She just wrote a book. I hope she said good things about it. I don't know. I didn't. So busy. She just wrote a book called Melania. Go out and buy it. It's great.
I didn't read my wife's book. I could care less about that.
Things about me, I'll call you all up and I'll say, don't buy it, get rid of it.
Well, even though Donald Trump has not read his wife's book, reporters have started to get their hands on some early copies for review, of course. And one of the major bombshells in her book is the fact that she totally disagrees with Republicans when it comes to abortion and reproductive rights. Now, in her book, which comes out next week, the former First Lady wrote the following. Here are some important excerpts. It is imperative to guarantee wishes. This is very strong language. It's amazing, but there's more. Restricting a woman's right to choose whether to terminate an unwanted pregnancy is the same as denying her control over her body. I have carried this belief with me throughout my entire adult life, which is an interesting admission considering her husband appointed the 3 Supreme Court justices who helped in overturning Roe v. Wade, which of course granted reproductive rights to women all across the country, regardless of which state they lived in. But as we know, following the reversal of Roe v. Wade, many red states decided to either effectively ban abortion or make it so restricted that it's incredibly difficult to get one if you are legally able to do so.
Yeah, and he brags about it. He says all the time, I'm the one who got rid of Roe v. Wade. Now he realizes it's unpopular, so he's doing this hilarious evasions. And he says, well, you know what? I wouldn't necessarily sign a national ban on abortion. So would you veto it? No, I'm not going to tell you.
So I'm going to get to his response to all of this in just a second. But before I do, I just want to let you all know that, after this was reported about where she stands on the topic of abortion, she decided maybe this is not good for my husband's, political career. Maybe I should back down. Except no, she didn't do that. She decided to double down in a promotional video for her book. Let's watch.
Individual freedom.
Hey Google, turn off
That I
kitchen lights.
Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise.
Hey Google, turn off kitchen lights.
Right that all women possess from birth. Individual freedom. What does my body, my choice mean?
Hey Google, turn off crown lights.
And she also provided a pretty lengthy list of legitimate
Hey
reasons
Google,
for a woman
turn
to
off
choose to
counter.
have abortion, including danger to the life of the mother, rape and incest, congenital.
off 5 lights.
Hey Google, turn off couch.
So she says that it is important to note that historically, most abortions conducted during the black.
And and turn off the flash. Let's see if this glows.